Turn the focus back to European qualifying Group A standings. No games today. Those games coming tomorrow. Germany against Luxembourg. They're locked together with Slovakia on 9 points, who play Northern Ireland. But ahead of the Germany game, Gab got to travel to Germany, to Wolfsburg in fact, and talk to Serge Gnabry.
You're playing centrally in a number 10 role. Jamal Musiala's injury is obviously a big part of the reason why. And I think you're killing it in that role. Can you talk a bit about how it's different changing roles and how when you're number 10, you're in the congestion area with people all around you. When you're wide, you know nobody's going to be coming from that side.
Yeah, for sure. It's always difficult to manage, I would say, what system you're playing, if you change roles, what the coach demands from you. I think it's obviously a good strength of mine to be able to play different positions. In my youth, I've always played in the number 10 or striker role. Only started playing winger when I was, I think, about 14, 15, and then ended up staying out there. But yeah, this season I think I'm playing a bit more deep. I'm a bit more interacting with the whole game. Whereas before, when I was playing for the national team and also sometimes for Bayern, I was more the number 9 when we didn't have a striker. So I managed to stay up top a little bit more, and I think it really suits me to becoming like deep, to be within the game a lot more. I think this is a big reason why it's going so well right now in this role. And yeah, as I said, it's a strength because I can play multiple positions. So whenever somewhere is needed, like in this case right now where Jamal's out for a long time, I can fill in.
It's an age-old debate with players who are versatile. Mm-hmm. Some people say it's better for them, or sometimes it can be better to say, no, this is my position. You have to build the whole squad around me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
It does. I think it's come into discussion a lot of times in the past. If it's with my agent, with my dad, with people in football, I would also say it's a curse because obviously when you're having a momentum in one position and suddenly you have to go somewhere else, you need time to adapt. It's not the same to play on the wing as in to play a number 10 role. So it definitely is also a curse. I would still say it's more a blessing because it still makes you play more, and you can have different strengths on different positions. But I definitely see the debate, and for example, like a Ribéry, back in the day where it was sure him and Arjen would play only wide. There's no number 10. I heard the stories about Van Gaal trying him in a number 10. He said no. So yeah, I see both sides.
Gab, a whirlwind 24 hours for you, for starters. Going to Wolfsburg to talk to Serge Gnabry, back to do the Gab and Jules podcast this morning. It never ends. What was your main takeaway from talking to Gnabry?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, when you look at, he's had highs and lows in his career. He just seems very mature. I think he realizes he's one of the leaders of this Germany team now, for better or worse. And I think if you look at what happened at Bayern, if you look at the negativity, just when the transfer window closed, they took Nico Jackson. Nobody seemed to be excited about that. They obviously missed out on Voltemade, who I also spoke to, by the way. And of course, Florian Wirtz before that. Musiala was injured. Alphonso Davies was injured. And then boom, they win 16 games in a row. And a lot of that is with Serge Gnabry in the number 10 position. So I think that speaks to a guy who was ready to step up again, as we heard from him, in a different role, and has done the job. And a lot of times heading into major tournaments, form is just as important as talent.
Yeah. Nedum, I know you know Vincent Kompany pretty well, and for him it must be fantastic having a player who's prepared to play with the flexibility that Gnabry has.
Oh, absolutely, yes. And I think from when Musiala was injured, we sort of wondered, well, how would he be replaced as such within that Bayern side? So I think somebody that's able to understand the game from that level, and obviously it helped the fact that he's experienced, the fact that he's been very much available for the majority of this season, and he has a style of play where with his speed he can really stretch the line. But because he's been so good and so patient on the wings previously, he can also get the ball in tight areas and have a little burst to sort of create space as such. So I think it's been a fantastic sort of moment for him to start the season. And it will be interesting to see when Musiala comes back, because firstly, we know he won't be necessarily in the best of form straight away due to how long he's been injured for. But the fact is, he plays that position just that little bit differently to Musiala. And Kane and Musiala is a great partnership, but maybe it's not the best partnership for every type of game they have between now and the end of the season.
He really has forged out a great career for himself. I didn't realise he was 30. Thought he was a little younger than that, but he's been around for a while. But when you think about how it started from, particularly in England, the time at Arsenal, they had a period at West Brom, to think about where he is now for club and country from where he was, it's an incredible growth. I think he's a terrific player, and as Gab was saying, he's versatile. He admits he knows he's versatile. He knows that kind of a downside, but also has some sort of upside. But when he goes into different positions, he generally performs very well. Now, if you looked at his stats in the graphic we had up there, there's been a little bit topsy-turvy, but still, it's still pretty good, relatively consistent. He's had a couple of seasons where he's sort of blown it away, and I think the last couple of years he sort of lost his way a little bit, but he's back playing with confidence. He's fast, he's powerful, he's strong, he's technically very good. And as I say, from where he was in his career in England, he has forged out the most magnificent career, because his confidence, his chin must have been on the floor.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he goes in, back in Germany, and he's playing great. And it's really good to see, because if you'd have said 10 years or so ago, would he have had this kind of career, watching him and looking at him, you'd have said, no chance.